Hello everyone, Alison Steinberg here with Lindell TV. We are at the MAHA Institute event talking about vaccine injuries today. I'm here with Nicolas Hulscher, who is an epidemiologist and administrator for the McCullough Foundation. Nicolas, thanks so much for being here today. And I have so many things I want to ask you. But first, start off, talk to us about what your focus is at this event to raise awareness on vaccine injuries.
Definitely. Well, thanks for having me. And yeah, we're here today at MEVI, Massive Epidemic of Vaccine Injury, at the MAHA Institute event to basically educate the public about the mass harms of the vaccinations, that specifically not only the COVID vaccinations, but the childhood vaccinations as well. And I think it's been a big success.
I mean, it certainly has been. There's been a massive shift in people talking about this issue, which is so critical because, you know, during the height of the COVID era, it was almost taboo and we were called crazy conspiracy theorists for talking about all of this. But now we've been proven to be correct, right? I mean, talk to us about how that tide has sort of turned and how more people are waking up to the facts here.
Yeah, the tide is turning. Now it's over 56% of Americans believe that the COVID vaccines cause mass deaths. So the whole public is waking up now. It cannot be stopped. The science keeps coming out. Every single week, there's a new study that's more and more shocking. 2 days ago, a study came out finding vaccine components, spike protein, and mRNA in placentas of vaccinated pregnant women. You can't make this stuff up. So now it has transgenerational effects. It's impacting future generations. So again, this is very serious, and it's going to keep coming out. This information won't stop. You know, we have experienced mass casualties, mass deaths, millions of deaths, injuries, and disabilities in the United States alone from the COVID-19 vaccines. And they're still being given to 6-month-olds. And so it's absolutely madness, but it's going to come to an end sooner or later.
Okay, are you really confident we can get this, specifically the COVID shot, pulled off the market completely? Because I know RFK has done a good job so far. I mean, we've definitely reduced the recommendations on the childhood vaccine schedule, but I know many people wish to get the COVID shot pulled entirely. Is that something that you think we can accomplish?
Yeah.
Or at least give it a black box warning?
Yeah, I hope we can get at least something. I hope we can get a black box warning at least, because we have to remember the FDA was going to do it. The FDA was going to put a black box warning on them. A few weeks ago, Marty Makary came out. He claimed that they turned it down. The FDA's own scientists wanted to put a black box warning, and the FDA leadership turned it down. Absolutely foolish move, but they did it anyways. And so now, again, you know, they're just slamming 6-month-olds with gene transfer injections, and this has to change. But they won't be able to escape what has happened to humanity as a result of this. And I think there is a chance they could be banned, at least for kids, but we got to keep pushing.
Absolutely. That's what I've heard a lot of today, is that, you know, I guess it should be your choice, even though I would love to see, you know, all the vaccines pulled completely. But ultimately, it is the choice of the individual, right? I think the recommended idea here is that you just wait. You don't need to give a newborn baby 78 vaccines, right? I mean, just wait until they're 4 or 5, if that's the route you want to go. Now, you have done a fantastic job of shedding light on these turbo cancers that have really resulted from the mRNA shots. Talk to us about that and this like massive uptick we've seen in cancer since the rollout of the COVID shot.
Yeah, this is very serious. The only 2 population studies ever done on COVID-19 vaccines and cancer, there was 8.7 million people in both of these studies, and they both found combined the COVID shots increase your risk of 7 major cancers: bladder, breast, colorectal, thyroid, gastric cancer. And they compared vaccinated to unvaccinated. So the vaccinated are getting more cancers. And so the only 2 that looked found it. We have all the case reports published. People get these shots, and then a day later, sometimes a week later, they get massive tumors. Or the cancer starts to spread everywhere in the body. CDC Wonder data, official government data, shows that excess cancer deaths have shot straight up right after the mass vaccination campaigns. There's been hundreds of thousands, or over 100,000 excess cancer deaths in the United States from the shots. It appears the mass mRNA injection programs were one of the largest carcinogenic exposures in history.
It's absolutely devastating, and it's almost more devastating that mainstream media outlets and mainstream doctors continue to sweep this under the rug and are not talking about the reality and the severity of all of this. Is there anything that can be done at this point for someone that has perhaps taken the shot? I know Dr. McCullough has a protocol that he recommends. Is that sort of what you are in line with?
Yeah, that's the best way, it appears, to at least help the body remove the spike protein. The spike protein doesn't leave on its own. It was made in a Chinese biosecurity lab. So we need external help. Nattokinase, bromelain, curcumin have shown promise in lab studies and case reports. But as well, there's other critical things. Vitamin D, you need sun. If you don't get sun, you're going to suffer from long vaccine syndrome more severely. A study just came out on this. Or myocarditis more severely. So if you go out and get sun, you're going to feel better. In the study that came out a few weeks ago, literally almost every single person that raised their vitamin D from low to high basically resolved their long vaccine syndrome. So very critical. Exercise is key. You walk 7,000 steps a day, you cut your risk of death, cancer death, diabetes, dementia, all sorts of things. So you got to walk, and you can't eat garbage. You have to eat whole foods. You can't eat Doritos and lay on the couch all day, and you'll suffer. So be proactive. Eat whole foods, and there's a way out.
Good advice, and that should be the norm. Sadly, in today's modern world, it's somehow not. We're told that you should eat those processed foods and lounge on your couch all day, and that's somehow healthy. Then you could just take an Ozempic shot, right? And then everything's all good. You've also recently spoken about how the mRNA has not just affected humans, but also our pets. Is it true that they are putting mRNA in things like the rabies vaccine?
Unfortunately, it's true. Last year, the USDA authorized Novavax NXT. It's developed by Merck. It's a RNA particle injection, that are self-amplifying RNA particle injection for dogs and cats for rabies, feline leukemia virus, and canine flu. So veterinarians across the country are injecting self-amplifying RNA injections into our pets. Most people don't even know. They'll go to the vet. Nobody tells them it's self-amplifying RNA. This can probably shed onto dog or cat owners through bodily secretions, given how it's self-amplifying. So nobody seems to care. This has to be stopped, right? I mean, our pets, they're getting decimated by this garbage.
We're getting in trouble because we're so amped up on the tyrants that are trying to kill us all, right? We were just told to lower our voices, but it's all good. So they're trying to kill our pets, probably. They're trying to kill us, likely, because of the shedding. When did this, do you know when this technology was added into these vaccines for pets? Because I recently got my cat vaccinated, which I didn't want to. This is the crazy thing, is that they literally, at least here in Virginia, say, oh, your cat's sick, like my cat was throwing up. Oh, well, it doesn't have a rabies vaccine, then we can't see it. We have to give your cat the rabies vaccine in order to address the obvious issue, which is so insane. And they did the same thing to humans during COVID, right? You couldn't be seen at a doctor unless you showed proof that you had the vaccine. How do we get around this, and when was this actually implemented?
This was implemented in 2024, and you're right. Vets across the country, many states, they kind of mandate you to give your cat or dog rabies shots. So it's a difficult thing to try and bypass. I guess the best thing you could do is not go to the vet for its rabies shot this year, because it's going to be self-amplifying. But there are there's non-mRNA versions. So if you go to the vet and you have to give your dog or cat a rabies shot, make sure it's not Novavax NXT.
I gotta go check that, because now if my cat got it, does that mean I'm vaccinated?
We don't know. They never tested it.
Oh my gosh, this is horrifying. Okay, so again, remedies are sun, eating healthy, and the Dr. McCullough protocol, right? Okay.
You all your steps in.
Your steps in,
Yep.
yes. Okay, I do all that, so hopefully I'm okay. You're like backing away from me now because I'm probably shutting. I'm just kidding. I didn't get the COVID shot though, so hopefully I'm all right. So you also mentioned, very interesting, I think everyone should know, that there is literally aborted human fetal tissue in the vaccines. This is not some crazy conspiracy theory.
No, it's not crazy. A study came out in 2015 that looked inside of MMR vaccine vials for any DNA. And they literally found in these MMR vaccine vials, there was trillions of fetal DNA fragments. So this is DNA from an aborted fetus that was aborted in the 1960s. They have an immortal cell line they use as factories to make the MMR vaccine proteins. So they're using fetal DNA. They don't clean it well. And so in the vials, you'll have DNA from that 1960s fetus injected into your own child. And that can integrate into genomes, by the way. They demonstrated that in that 2015 study. So, and it inserts in points in the genome associated with autism. So you can't even make this stuff up. And it can maybe cause cancer. It's what's called insertional mutagenesis. You have foreign DNA get inserted into your own that can possibly cause cancer. That's probably why we see higher cancer rates in vaccinated children.
That is truly terrifying. Why do you think they would do such a thing? I mean, this is like literally demonic. How can anyone justify that?
Yeah, it's demonic. I don't know how they can justify it. They can hide it. They hide the information. That's what they've been doing, or defame the people relaying the information. And so that's their option. Nobody trusts them anymore, though. And so I think children, parents across the country, they're going to stop hyper vaccinating their children.
We've got to stop. It's got to come to an end. And I think we're doing a great job trying to spread awareness and really bring truth back into the matter, because the science has been so politicized, and I think we're finally seeing a breakthrough here. So Dr. Nicolas Hulscher, thanks so much for all that you do. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you.